Morning, everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mr. Craven. All right, guys. The title kind of speaks for itself in today's episode. I'm going to go over what all prompted this, and the drama, and the trolls, and the toxicity of the supposed elite players in Elder Scrolls universe. And what prompted me to, yo, Silver, what's up? Welcome to the stream. What prompted me to do this video? Okay. I know. Yeah, well, I faced off with bigger people than Alcast. So I'm not too fucking worried about it, to be honest with you. Morning, Helly. Rip. It's about to be. All right. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to open up my Explorer. I'm not going to be able to see the chat for a second. I will get back to you guys promptly. So let's go ahead and open up Internet Explorer. Now, we're going to start off with what prompted this whole debate. Is this little dumb fuck right here. The Asian God. Nice gamer tag there, bud. All right, so we're going to go down and basically pop this up. As you guys can see, I have a lot of windows to open because I have a lot of shit to cover. I will be closing these as needed. Okay, so it's just a lot of whatever. So as soon as we go down here, the Asian God is like, guess what? I dropped a DM to Alcast on his Discord, and he, along with everyone in that Discord, openly laughed when I told them what you said. You are literally a laughingstock in that Discord. You aren't even regarded as being even remotely on the same level as Alcast, LZH, or Gilliam. Thank fucking God. Thank fucking God. That's all I can say. So we're going to close out this little fucking dweeb for a second. Now, this kind of goes also back with my little discussion with Gilliam the Rogue. Now, me and Gilliam has kind of put things aside for now. Don't worry, Gilliam. If you have anything to say, I'll be waiting. Anywho, so Gilliam had posted me a link where Alcast was talking shit. Right here. And as you guys can see, it's right here. Dude, I laughed my ass off when people showed me his stuff. That dude lives in his own world. And checks success on class on build videos. And Warden gets like half the shitty views. Okay. So, Alcast thinks he's just so right. Right? Of course he does. He's just the shit. Right? So, I hope I didn't close up the wrong video. Let's look. Alright. That's not the one I'm looking for. Okay, so we're going to go to Fang Rush's Morrowind patch notes. Right? Where I had to explain diminishing returns to Alcast. Because prior to this, Alcast stacked the fuck out of his CP like majority of fucking dumbasses did. Because he knows nothing about the fundamentals of MMOs. Because diminishing returns have been in MMOs from the beginning. And any old school MMOer would tell you that. Of course, these changes dramatically reduce the rate of the diminishing value in percentages and introduce jump points into the CP allocation system. Now, where prior, a lot of people thought it was irrelevant. But don't worry, I'll be getting into that. So, me and Fang Rush is talking, right? So, whatever have you. So, we just made a little comments, whatever. Alcast goes ahead and pops in. No biggie. So, all of a sudden, we open up the comments. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. And originally, I had posted, yeah, I can't wait to see Alcast's future build since he currently ignores DRs. we'll see how he won't be able to ignore them anymore. And then, of course, for some reason, double whatever. And we're just talking. Like I said, this is from Alcast. Lots of stuff has to be adjusted for next patch. I really like the changes to the CP system as it makes it low CP players stronger. I reply, Alcast, not meaning any disrespect, but do you think diminishing returns are new to this game? Or any MMO for that matter? I agree with you, the changes will somewhat help close the gap. But the CP passive still gives cap players the advantage. They need to introduce a CP system that's idiot-proof is what needs to happen. So many players don't know how to align CP points with the current configuration. It needs more work to benefit new players. And somebody had posted and troll. ESO Daily, I do agree that the CP is the biggest issue. And I wish they would reduce the impact of CP on the game. But it seems like they will never be the case. At least they are going in the right direction. So as you guys can see, we kind of have this, you know, pretty calm conversation going on between Alcast and I. And of course, I reply to some other troll. Well, at the moment, DRs don't have a huge impact on the CP system. Don't worry. We'll go there. Next patch, however, will be completely different and DR is going to be important. Okay. So, I go ahead. Alcast, once again, no disrespect, but they do. I'm not going to have a huge debate, but players ignoring DRs across the board aren't optimized. Now we go ahead and we get into a long discussion about that. But we're going to go ahead and close this one out. And of course, I reference, I believe it's this video right here, which is basically taking a look at the diminishing returns. Now this was prior to the Morrowind update. As you guys can see, this was streamed on December 6th of 2016. Almost a half a year prior to Morrowind's even release. I also did another video calling out Alcast by name and like 2-3 months prior to Morrowind, also showing the evidence of diminishing returns and showing the damage that's going to be applied and the loss. But there was no jump points at any given time. But when we go back into, I want to say, right here, here's Alcast video for Homestead, which was also prior to Morrowind. Now, as we can see, he's stacked like a motherfucker. Right? He's stacked, completely stacked. Didn't even know better. He did this as well as thousands of players because they were told to do it. And yet, the man went ahead and did it. Because he didn't understand diminishing returns. Then after Morrowind, well, he made those adjustments now, didn't he? Now, I've definitely brought this to his attention. So we had this conversation. The one thing that strikes me is how the man talks shit. Now, here's the funny thing. Prior to this video, I even gave him a chance to reply back. Now, he deleted this, but I can still see it on mine. So when you go to his new video, Damage Mitigation and Trials with Champion Points, I actually had said yesterday, hello, Alcast, thinking about doing a segment featuring some of the things about you. But before I do, the Asian God claimed you were still talking about me in a negative manner. Any comment before I open the can? The funny thing is, he's a skilled player. Not taking that away from Alcast. But the simple fact of it was, he still ignored MMO fundamentals. It's pretty fucking interesting. Stacking CP, sure. And then goes ahead, says, oh, well, with these changes, we're going to pay attention to diminishing return. They all did it. Every fucking main YouTuber except 2 of us. And that was me and Zynode. But if you go to the forums, the old school MMOers were talking about diminishing returns since prior when it was the VR system, talking about the diminishing percentage values and even broke it down specifically. But yet, these YouTubers still seem to ignore the fundamentals. Hey, I didn't make it up. It's just relevant. Then you can go through all these videos and check it out for yourself. Now, we're going to move forward, right? So I'm going to go into his build here because when I did a test, now remember Twice Born Star? We all remember it. It was called BIS. It was called Best in Slot. Shadow and the Thief Mundus, right? You can't go wrong. It's endgame worthy. Well, it's kind of funny, right? Because when I did this video, and this was dated, and I have multiple videos, on July 19th of 2017, I did Battle of the Crafted Sets on PTS. Twice Born Star versus Julianos. Now, prior to CP allegation, Twice Born Star was immensely very, very productive. Add the CP system, though, and, well, Twice Born Star went crumbling down like crackers. And that's the same thing across the board with Hundings and so on. Now, this was posted on July 19th. Now, prior to this, during whatever have you, let me close that out. Let me close that one out. Prior to this, during Homestead, Morrowind, and whatever, he always suggested the two-fang snake.
We're using dual-wield bow, medium armor, 81% weapon crit, 1k stamina. So it's actually really nice, and almost 3.7k weapon damage. Melody of Major Savagery. I will put in, and as you can see, we already have one. However, this is just the most 3 disease spores. 5-piece, twice-fanged serpent. It's basically always the same for stamina setups. Now, previously we used Twice Born Star set.
Oh, wait a minute. What'd they say? Previously they used what? Twice Born Star. Across the board, Magicka and stamina.
If you do have a gold Twice Born Star set, you don't necessarily need to gold out this set here. So, if you don't have Two-Fang Snake, the best option would have been what? Recommended by these players, it was Twice Born Star. However, during CP allegation, it never optimized. Now, after my video, when you take a look at it in his builds, which is within August, within the next following month, they all converted to Hundings and Julianos, or Night Mothers. Interesting enough, but still facts. The date speaks for itself. Now, moving forward with Alcast's BIS, because remember, prior to anything, everybody was talking about what? Best in slot. Unfortunately, in a group dynamics, you can't put everybody in the same gear, right? So BIS wouldn't apply because you have to optimize team production performance instead of individualized performance. And I've always said that. But when we go ahead to his one video, Asylum Weapons, Best in Slot, he openly admits about Best in Slot. Asylum Weapons, so the term Best in Slot, I don't really like it. I just put
Let's rewind it.
Weapons, so the term Best in Slot, I don't really like it. I just put it into the thumbnail because I knew otherwise nobody would watch the fucking video.
Okay, so he's admitting it's clickbait. It's fucking clickbait. Put it in the thumbnail. Why? Because no one would fucking watch it. Hey, best way to get results, right, people? Hey, Alcast, great job, bub. Oh, yeah. Let's keep going, shall we? Now, let me go ahead to close this out. Now, we're going to talk about the DK, right? Kind of an important thing, because when we take a look at what? Deduction sets, the stacked amount would go ahead and alleviate how much penetration your team needs, including the most important one is stamina. Why? Because the passives don't go ahead and give us a passive like light armor wears, which is concentration. So they don't get that penetrating value within their passives. So they have to rely on each other or an individualized build to produce penetrating value. So when we go in, though, to his PvE build, and we go to the new Dragon Bones with the Dragon Knight, and we go into the Stamina, into the Venom build, which is a great build, by the way, just saying. The one thing that he doesn't have in the configuration is Sunderflame. Sunderflame is only referenced in one particular area, and I will show you, but he has no current build configurations with the Sunderflame set. But when you come down here and you look under the guide, this build is meant for Trials, Dungeons, and Maelstrom. But guess what he is using? He's using Hundings and Night Mothers. Oh, that's the beginning here. Or Twice Fanged Serpent. Sorry about that. Twice Fanged Serpent. Now I'm going to be getting into this. It's kind of interesting, right? So it's 860 for 3 seconds, stacking up 5 times. Now I'm going to pop out my handy little calculator here. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to clear it. 860 times 5 is going to produce a maximum of 4,300 penetration. Pretty good. But it doesn't optimize group functionality, and I will show you why. By the end of this video, you're going to actually be in like, why in the fuck are we even using this set? Trust you and me. Okay, so we have that value, which is great. It's perfect. Okay, you got a penetrating value set. Excellent, Alcast. You're doing such a great job. Keep it up. All right, so we're going to go ahead down to the optional sets. Okay, so the optional sets would be War Machine, Twice Fanged Serpent, Vicious Serpent, Hunting's Rage, Night Mothers, Mechanical Acuity, Moron Tog, Strength of Automaton, Spriggans, kind of surprised, Sunderflame, and Briarheart. Okay, so those are like optional sets, and they're really good sets, all of them. Go nuts. So, anyways, we look at the Sunderflame, right? Kind of cool, right? But it's not in any build video currently. But, you know, maybe I'm missing something. You know, maybe there's something I'm not paying attention to, right? I mean, it's just, it is what it is. But wait a minute. I believe, yeah, stamina optimization in raids. Hey, there we go. I'm new to this. We better get in here and figure out what we need, everybody. So, stamina optimization in raids. Well, we have the War Machine, we have Two Fanged Serpent, we have Vicious Serpent, we have Hunting's Rage, we have Night Mother's Gaze, we have Mechanical Acuity, we have Moron Tog, we have Strength of Automatons, we have Spriggans, we have Sunderflame. Man, but looky, Sunderflame, Briarheart. Okay? So there you have it. So we're going to scroll down. And he gives these setups. Right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So it's there. Right? But his main one is Two Fanged Snake. Just keep that in mind. I just want you guys to keep that in mind. 4,300 penetration. Keep it in mind. Back of the head. So, let's move forward, shall we? 1 second. We went over this. Whatever. Stack CP. Over that. Okay. Now, I'm trying to find it. Okay, right here. Very important line here. Sunderflame only works on single target. Keep that in mind. That's an important thing there, guys. Very important. Unfortunately, it's not true. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my little vid here. Okay. Let me go ahead and minimize this so I can see the chat window. Nobody uses TBS in July 2017. It got dropped from the meta. It was always shit. LZH, it was always shit. And why are you in my channel, bitch? Boy, you like to talk shit, I heard. Is that true? Boy, brother, I'm going to flame the fuck out of you bitches today. You fucking non-optimized motherfuckers. Man, you're about to get it, brother. You're about to fucking get roasted like a motherfucker. Thank you for coming today, motherfucker. Your math is fucked. Okay, so let's go into this. It only affects one fucking target. Now, I'm tired of these little fucks like LZH here and Alcast and their fucking cult of fucking dimwits. Now, do we all make mistakes? Absolutely. Is Alcast skilled? Yes. Is his build good? Absolutely. I'll say that. Okay, for the record. But can we get Sunderflame to proc on more than one target? Well, if you use a 2H, you can. When I go into skills and I go into the two-hander, light and heavy attacks damage up to 3 other nearby enemies for 50% of the damage. Now you add this up with the follow-up passive, we're getting an additional 10% towards what? Our next direct damage attack within 7 seconds. So, we're going to go ahead and do a heavy attack. This should only be applied to what? One target? Sunderflame? Debuffed, debuffed, and debuffed. With one heavy attack. But the meta would dictate what? The meta, LZH, would dictate what? Come on, man. Come on, meta players. You know so fucking much, don't you? You all know so fucking much. But let's go there. Wait. We looked at it, and the recommended set for stamina is Two-Fanged Serpent, right? That's the 4,300. Feel free to roast me why you fail to complete in normal dungeons. Hey, man, you guys are the meta. You guys are the meta, LZH. You're the meta. Your math's flawless, right? Your math's flawless? Is that it? We're about to find the fuck out. We're about to find the fuck out how good your math really fucking is, meta players. We're about to find the fuck out. So, we're going to go ahead and go down to the calculator. Handy dandy calculator, you know, comes in handy, right? All right. So, let's do some math, shall we? Okay, so the penetrating value is what? 18,200? I think we all can agree on that number, right? I think even Alcast could say, yeah, 18.2. It's pretty whatever. Set like Two-Fanged Serpent in a group function that's optimized doesn't need Two-Fanged Serpent. Hint, hint. Why? Ooh, did Mystic just spawn onto something? Let's find out. Okay, we're going to look at Major Fracture, Major Breach. Now, when I take a look at the skill, and we'll cover our basics here. When we go ahead and take a look at the skill into our flame ability, Major Fracture is going to debuff the target. Nobody uses Sunder Flame with the 2H because it would be stupid. Hey, I'm just saying, does it apply to only one target? Can we get it to apply to multiple targets? Yes. But if you use Sunder Flame, if you're using Twice-Fanged Serpent for trial, are you optimized, LZH? Are you optimized? Are you optimized? Couldn't be over penetrating now, could you? You sure? Hey, wait. Let's go there. So, Major Fracture, 5,280. Okay, we're going to open up our calculator here. 5,280. Okay. Minor Fracture. Let's go ahead and look this up just to be on the safe side. You know, hey, Mystic can't go ahead and do anything without making sure our P's and Q's should be 1300. But so minor fracture. Okay. Let's go to Academy. I like Academy. $13.20. Off by 20 points. We'll add it. Because Stamplars apply the the minor fracture. Okay. So we're at 6,600. Let's take a look at the Crushers. Enchant. Not values whacked. All right, let's see if I got one in my bag. All right. Nope. There it is. Weapon enchantments. Okay. Let's go down. Should be one in here. It's like 1,600. But for some reason, they didn't put a Crushers in this bag. Holy shit. But if you get the infused, you're doing more. But we'll just go low base. We'll just say 1,600, whatever, for the deduction. All right. Let's be on the safe side. Just put 1,600. It's higher than that, but especially infused. So we're going to add that Crushers, right? Now, let's take a look at sets. Specifically, Roar of Alcast. We're getting a 3,010 deduction, right? All right. Oop. Hold on. To add that 0. 3,010. Let's go to Night Mothers. Pretty good one. 2,580. And if you use the Sunder Flame, which your team probably should, it's going to go ahead and reduce 3,440. Okay. Let's check it out. Oh my fucking gosh. Oh my gosh, Tim! Our penetrating value was 17 too! Oh my God, heaven forbid. Now, if we were using Two-Fanged Serpent, like they suggest, we would get 4,300, right? Oh my gosh, if that's the way it is. So what would happen, Tim? Okay. 17. It's a little more, whatever. Plus 43,000. We be the fucking losing DPS. Because if we deduct that 18.2, and mind you, there's a slight difference. We be 3,000 over pen. All right. We would be 3,000 2007, that's even fucking better, LZH. That's with the infused. I know. There it would be. So we would even have more penetration. We would be over penetrated by using Two Fang. We can actually use decisive trait. We can use other traits. And we would go ahead and whatever. So, hey. Is my math completely wrong on that? Should we do it again? And add that little infused 1 to 740? Because you'd still be over. You'd even be over more. So a set like Two Fang Serpent would do what? Over penetrate your value. But if you apply Sunder Flame, instead of individualized your sets, you would be able to use more sets like Hundings and other sets like automatons and offset the increased value into the CP system, where you would need only a minimal into your penetrating value. Is mechanical acuity worth it on a mage blade? What set do I recommend? Mechanical acuity is a good set. Right? I just don't like the proc, because when it's not up, your DPS kind of goes, and I'm not a fan of mechanical acuity. It's a great set when it procs. You know, when it's up, it's great. It's a great set. I just don't like it personally for me, because I got, you know, I have to worry about application. It's a personal preference in that. But I wouldn't go ahead and use it. But hey, to each their own. I like I said, I try to stay away from toxic stuff. And I do want to apologize, because I'm not here debating Alcast's skills. His builds. He's got great builds. He's got great guides. The man is a legend in the community. But when you talk shit, you get shit on. And when you want to talk about the number crunch, these motherfuckers are so fucking far off, it's pathetic. Because I wasn't stacking CP when everybody else was. I wasn't wearing Twiceborn garbage when everybody else was. Why? Because I knew. Now, does that mean I don't make mistakes? I absolutely make mistakes. Absolutely. We're human. But that's the thing. When people put themselves above on a pedestal and they ain't crunching the numbers like the way they're supposed to, hey, guess what? Fuck you too. Dude is acting like people use Twice Fang Serpent except in trash. And that's nobody has ever calculated up penetration. LZH, I've been calculating penetration from the get and talking about over penetrating values. That's why I have my subs. Sure, it's low. But why do you think my subs have subscribed to me? Because I've covered diminishing return and over penetrating values from the get. And you guys want to talk shit about my builds? Seriously? You guys want to talk shit? When you guys were talking about, and let's get into that, you know, only this class can do this, and only this class can do that. Let me provide you something, LZH, because you guys aren't fucking elite. You know who's elite? Let me show you a player that's really fucking elite. Let me show you a player. Now, I'm not even going to say I am, but let me show you a player who defines the game, right? I'm sure you haven't seen it. You may have heard about it. I'm sure you fucking haven't seen it. So, we're going to go ahead. We're going to go in here. And this is my new favorite YouTuber. Dude fucking deserves thousands of subs. This dude deserves a shitload of subs. He streamed Vet Maul using what? A stamina warden healer with no deaths. Stamina warden. There it is. Does that fit your meta, LZH? How elite are you guys? How elite? This dude's fucking elite. Breaking the meta like that.
Сейчас в дверь поползешь.
Sorry. Yeah. Snoop's not a sheep. Snoop uses different configs. We talk, we discuss things. And that's what my community members do here. I would say accomplishment speaks for themselves, though. The gospel of envy is real. Right. I agree, listener. Totally. The funny thing about this is, at the end of the day, I give it up to Alcast and what he's given to the community. But when you go ahead and you trash me, when I'm providing any possibility for the players, and that the meta is a farce, these guys don't optimize. They don't know how to. Right? They disregard anything that's not set in stone by them. And as great as a player's Alcast is, he's made mistakes. We all have. He overstacked his CP at one time. He referred to everything as an abyss. Hey, it's okay. It's fine. You talk really loudly and make yourself sound convincing, but realistically, you've never tested in a proper raid environment. So you have no room to really talk about what's useful there. Yeah, sure. Believe what you want, LZH. I don't cover the content for reasons. But, hey, whatever. Can you debate the math? Can you? The overpenetration? I didn't finish watching it. I kind of skipped through it, Andrew. You can watch it. It's crazy. That is crazy, isn't it? No, all players have achievements. Now, which ones? Well, that's a big difference, right? That's what's crazy, Andrew. I mean, I'm watching this dude, like, I'm popping around his stuff, and I'm like, dude's a friggin' beast. He's a beast. Stamina Warden Healer in Bet Trial. Wow. Also, just because someone can complete with non-optimized build doesn't mean anything. The best builds get the best scores. Well, that's great, LZH. But if that's the case, and you guys reference Sunderflame, when you guys reference it, when you do, why isn't it in a build video? Skill has nothing to do with it, right? LZH, it's all about the gear. Is that what you're saying? It's all about the gear. It's not about the player. It's not about the player, is it? Nah, couldn't be. Yeah, I could just slap any player in that set and they could complete every content. Hey, I honestly, this is the way my channel's set up, LZH. I set up for average players who don't have things. Because majority of the populace doesn't have Master or Maelstrom. Some are getting Asylum, some don't, whatever have you. So I go with non-meta builds, and I try to keep players encouraged to build how they want. Right? Play the roles in the classes play the classes in the role that they desire, and trying to optimize within that role. That's who I cater to. Then I get the trial players squeaking in, talking shit. Who is LZH? A friend of Alcast, obviously. I didn't even hear about him until fucking little Asian god said some shit. Nobody. Oh my gosh. Woo. Ouch. Burn. Best is a matter of opinion, and people don't realize this. Some might think LeBron's the best player, but some might say Kevin Durant. That's a good example. I like that analogy. You know, the funny thing about it is, though, Alcast even say he doesn't like best in slot. But to optimize group performance, you try to set players in different gear configurations to do what? Buff each other. Debuff the targets. Right? That's what we're doing in trial scenarios. Now, personally, I'm not a hardcore trial player. I go in, I get the gear, and I get the fuck out. I don't cover the content because there's thousands of players covering content like that. I'd rather focus on the players who want to do Nightblade healing, who want to do Dragon Knight healing, who want to go ahead and build Sork tanks. I would rather focus on those players because that's where my passion lies, with players who want to do something different. That's where I really focus in on. That's what this channel is about. Any class, any role, this is Elder Scrolls. That's my philosophy. But when you start talking shit, when you start talking like, oh, his builds suck, and then all of a sudden Alcast does what? Non-meta builds. Because of what? The skill advisory. Right? We can't ignore it. It can't be ignored anymore. I'm vindicated just by this alone. Because when I go in here, guess what we have? We have the Elder Dragon. It's role healer. Is it perfect? No. It's not. It's not. It isn't. But it gives new players the starting point to build their Dragon Knight healer. And then they can go from there. And that's what I really like about the skill advisory. The skill advisory helps guide players to understand how the class works in that role. And the devs did a great job. So at the end of the day, when people say it can't be done, well, it can. You know? And that's what my channel is about. So what I would suggest to the players who like to talk shit, keep your toxic shit out of my channel. Stop fucking talking shit. If I target you, it's because you're fucking feeding toxicity into the fucking community, affecting the players. And I mean no disrespect to Alcast. That's not my intention. My intention is we've all been there. We all can improve and we all can learn from each other. And even Alcast can learn something. Maybe even from me. Just saying. I learned from my viewers. My viewers have corrected me multiple times. But your builds do suck, question mark. You've never shown yourself completing content that's remotely difficult. I pug, LZH, do you? That's the deal. But I have done end game with my builds. But in what? Formatted play. When I have players who know what they're doing. Do I want to focus in on that? No. It's pointless. By putting myself in a pug situation, I'm putting myself at the worst scenario. Is the healer applying a drain effect that's going to go ahead and help restore? Am I getting utilities? You know, you have to understand a lot of average players are what? Pugs. So that's what I focus on. Okay, well then since you have the knowledge to fully optimize a build to be BIS, there is no BIS. That's what you're not understanding, Narc. The BIS is from a linear progression, like Rift, EverQuest 2, World of Warcraft. That's where it comes from, right? Because best in slot would apply to every set. That's not how the game works. To truly optimize, you individualize each potential player in the individualized sets to maximize group performance. That's what you do. That's what you do. That's how it's mainly whatever. The man is speaking about toxicity while calling people bitches and swearing every 2 words. Of course, I'm an asshole, LZH. And every one of my viewers know it. I'm not saying I'm perfect. And I'm not going to go ahead and pretend to be something I'm not. Hey, did the math speak? Aaron, can you debate the math that I just popped up? If you use 2 Fang Serpent with all deduction sets applied, are you overpenetrated? Yes or no? I'm asking question, Aaron. Would you be overpenetrated? Anything? No, you ain't going to answer me? So you're avoiding the question. Would you be overpenetrated? Thank you, Snoop. I appreciate it, man. See, that's the funny thing. You know? I bring up a legitimate point into the math, talking about, you know, overpenetrating in two Fang, and you guys just sit there like avoiding it. You can't even answer it because you can't debate it. You can't. At the end of the day, that's the only thing I'm saying. Y'all wore Twiceborn Star, even when the sets were initially introduced. Right? Then you went Two Fang. Everybody wore Two Fang because it was BIS. But they didn't take into consideration all the potential deduction sets to what? Offset the difference and increase the CP allegation. Audio cutout, I asked like a lot. Can you debate the overpenetration if you use deduction sets and justify Two Fang Serpent? Would you be overpenetrated? Did the new Crowns Crits release? Delay on chat? Okay, well, I just repeated it. You wouldn't have those debuff sets and pugs, though, would you? Yeah. I at least would have a penetrating value set, right or wrong, on a stamina user. So if I was using Sunder and I needed more penetration, what could I offset with? Maul. Or Maces. Right? It's going to ignore what? Their penetration. Or I can go ahead and switch out my Mundus from the Warrior to what? The Lover. So yeah, I could use the deduction sets and offset those differences. Andrew? Totally. Food for thought. So, there you guys have it. The BIS is from linear progression to truly optimize you individually. Each potential player individualized sets to maximize group performance. That's what you do. It sounds like BIS as we know it. No. Because you guys were told BIS and thought, okay, everybody's got to chase after this set because it's best in slot. Now when people are using individualized sets, now what? Now it's BIS for individualized characters and not BIS in general? BIS comes from linear. It comes from tier progression. When you did raids back in the day, you had tier 3 to tier 4, right? For example, if you had tier 3, what was BIS? Your tier 4 set, because it applied to everything, to everybody. That's where BIS derives from. Let competitive players complete and let non-competitive players not. I don't know what we're yelling about. Listener, that's the thing. You know, like my channel doesn't even focus in on that majority of the time. Yet I have these fuckheads who act like I don't know what I'm talking about and talking shit in their discords about me. And then they want to go ahead and want me to turn the other cheek? Eye for an eye, motherfuckers. . That's all I can say. Just saying. So, there it is. You know, whatever, have it. You know, the funny thing about it is, no one can debate it. Nobody here, and you guys, the stuff's all whatever. But no one can debate it. If you're using a full penetration set, right? A set like Two Fang Serpent becomes obsolete. These guys all try to gang up on Mystic. I don't understand why. And that's what they do, Snoop. That's what they do. And I'm not banning you all because, you know, guys might as well have a defense here. When you over-penetrate to normally here, oh, fuck, it's deep. Yeah, David. Yeah. When you over-penetrate, that hurts your DPS considerably. But when you use a set like Thunderflame, along with Night Mothers, Alcast, Crushers, you know, Major Fracture, Minor Fracture, all of these things, what ends up happening? You over-penetrate using other penetrating individualized sets like Spriggans and like Two Fang. So you got to marginalize the amount needed into the CP system. So there you have it. If you guys happen to notice, like, I'm on the PTS. Oh my God. I could understand if someone was forcing you guys to listen to Mystic, but you guys are crazy. Yeah, it's optional. If you don't like what I say, don't come to my channel. The funny thing is I don't go to other players' channels and knock on their builds or knock on what they're doing. I always tell players this simple thing. If it works for you, keep it. If it works for you, that's great. That's what I say. If you want to use that player's build, go ahead. I don't debate that. I don't debate it. But when the players want to act like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, it's like, I already talked to Alcast about diminishing returns. I showed you the proof. I showed you the proof that they used to use Twiceborn Star. It was never optimized because I have the video on it. All of the shit that everybody's talking, I do videos on. As far as testing and whatever. I never even say that their builds are terrible. I say do what works for you. If you want to use that build configuration and you have those pieces, by all means go ahead. But once again, I want to play and want to provide for the average player to do what? Play as they want. And if you can let me do that in a respectful manner, then I can go ahead and back the fuck off you. But when you're going to go ahead and talk shit about me, well, I'm going to come back and bite you in the ass. If I were being honest, I don't use any YouTubers build 100%, not Alcast or anyone else. I just talk to endgame players that I know and I can trust. And that's pretty good, Hand. You know, that's it. Just peace to everyone. I agree, Jeff. What is funny all about this is that Asian God is trying to get a group to take you down. Oh, I know, because I have a lot of dislikes. And Asian God is a dumb fuck who said I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. And I just showed the calculator of the penetration. So he's like, oh, okay. But yet I also showed a video of another player completing vet content on a Stam Warden healer. Hello, crazy, right? So not meta. You are doing well, ESO. Good work. Thank you, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. Thank you. Farm, you can please do a VMAL run on stream. To VMA. You know, maybe I'll get to all this. You know, I don't like focusing in on it. There's so many people doing it. To be honest with you, that's why I said I like my content and what I do for my community members. My community members are subscribed to me to do what? Try something different. To play in a different way. Whether it be casual or competitive in this game, that competitive whatever. I wish it'd be more or not at all. But, whatever. Like I said, my channel focuses on what? What I've said. Y'all call Mystic crazy, though. Yeah, they do. They do. That's what they do. That's all they do. You guys are the toxic players. When players want to come to a new game and they want to try something different, what happens? You're providing false information, though, on several different subjects, which is misleading to the average player. If that's true, right, which I make mistakes and I own up to them, right, and I keep the videos admitting this, why are players referring to BIS? At first, everything was best in slot. You got to get this for every tune. That's no longer the case. When they were stacking CP, was that misleading? When they were stacking CP, was it misleading? Fucking A, right it was. When they told players, you can't heal Nightblade and DK healers aren't viable. Is that relative? Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. It's completely fucking relative. They misled their community. They misled their viewers. I don't know the meta better than you. I don't want to know the fucking meta. I test the meta builds against what I'm trying to do with my own type of play style. I'm not saying they're bad builds. It's just not what I do. So if you want to keep it, fine. That's your choice. That's what I'm saying. Then they swap to Sunder and optimize on bosses. If they swap to Sunder, it'll be funny though, won't it, Purgatory? If they're switching to Sunder, are you still using? And why isn't there the builds? If that build that I just showed at Alcast was meant for trials, then you're over-penetrating. Yes or no? Yes or no? If you're using Sunder, Night Mother's Alkosh, and players are using Twice Fang Serpent as dictated by Alcast, would they be over-penetrated? Abso-fucking-lutely. And none of you are debating that. None of you are even questioning the over-penetration. Lauren, stop feeding the trolls. Love your vids. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate it. Anyways, I'm going to let this go. But no, I have to give the trolls something, though, a little bit. A little bit. Why? Because they like to talk shit. In Asian God, bring it on. Hit the dislikes. Give me free publicity. Bring it. Bring it. Because it doesn't matter if I get 100 dislikes.